Hi everyone, I'm Dominic Calabrese from the Chicago Lighthouse. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm very pleased to welcome Mr. Hamza Muhammad, a very talented Chicago artist who's been a participant in our wildly successful Lighthouses on the Mag Mile public art display, which has literally taken the nation, if not the world, by storm over the past couple months. We have these beautiful and stunning lighthouse sculptures up and down North Michigan Avenue and surrounding communities to celebrate access and inclusion for people with disabilities. It's been wildly popular. Thousands of people have visited the lighthouses. The event runs through this Saturday, so if you haven't gotten over to North Michigan Avenue yet, please do so. You'll be totally wowed by these beautiful works of art designed by talented artists nationally as well as locally. And one of the very talented local artists is the gentleman sitting next to me, Mr. Hamza Muhammad. Good to see you.
Great to see you, and thank you for having me, Dom. I really appreciate it.
Hamza's been one of our stars. He's been interviewed by other media. He's been wowed and celebrated by the Chicago Blackhawks. He did this wonderful lighthouse sculpture saluting the Chicago Blackhawks, which I'm guessing is one of his favorite pro teams here in Chicago. In fact, the lighthouse was the center of attention at the recent Chicago Blackhawks convention, where many fans and many of the players actually autographed it for Hamza and for the Chicago Lighthouse. You must be pretty proud of that.
Actually, I am. I mean, I am very wowed and blessed to just be a part of the initiative of the Chicago Lighthouse and the message that it is sending across the world.
Well, thank you. It really has touched a responsive chord. Well, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background, how you got involved in art, and how you got involved with this world-class public art display.
Well, I'm from Chicago. I'm from a nice part of the town in Chicago called Hyde Park. I was born and raised here. I love it here. We have amazing teams, which is the Chicago Blackhawks. I also attended high school at Kenwood, and also charter school and grammar school at the Chicago Children's Choir. Charter school that they had, and just kind of, been studying art since I was almost an infant, to be honest with you. Just had a relationship with my grandparents and my great-grandparents, just, putting a pad in front of me and kind of molding me into the gentleman I am today, sitting in front of you.
Very nice.
And just been a student of the arts continuously. Even now, I study as much as I possibly can. When I was a child and a student, I attended Marwin. I attended all their different workshops that they offered. I took 36 classes to be exact.
Oh, that's impressive.
I was one of the first classes of Little Black Pearl's Art and Design Workshop, which is located in Hyde Park as well. And I started off as a student there, and then I grew to be an artist in residence. I worked alongside with one of the most leading artists in Chicago right now, which is Hebrew Brantley. I also worked alongside with the Astor Gates for many years. So just really appreciative of all the people that have come through my life and been a mentor to me, including the Chicago Lighthouse. I've been more so of a person on the sidelines as I watched many of you guys' different interviews, as my grandmother interviewed you in the past, and just been amazing just about what you guys promote and help individuals that have disabilities, whether they're visually impaired or just disabled as far as from the navel down, or just really helping people have jobs that they won't get hired in the regular workforce.
Well, that's wonderful. Now tell us about the lighthouse sculpture you designed. Why did you come up with the Chicago Blackhawks?
Well, to be honest with you, the Chicago Blackhawks is, I know, one of the sponsors that reached out and wanted to work with you all.
Yes.
They actually chose me to be one of the artists.
Oh,
If I'm not,
must be highly flattering. That's great.
Because I had experience in doing portraits as well as sports figures
Excellent.
in the past.
Yeah.
And so I was actually honored to even be an artist for the Chicago Blackhawks. And just the history that they have in Chicago, as well as one of the most leading teams from our city. I just felt that was an honor to be an artist for pretty much for that team. And just the art itself that I created was, I wanted to make it where it was something relatable to young or old. And I think the only way to do that is to tap into my childhood, which is comic books. I grew up reading comic books. I love comic books. People who know me as a comic book artist. I've grown out of that, of course, as I've done more art in my portfolio. But just tapping into that was, I think, one of the main things that I wanted to convey in creating the Lighthouse Sculpture.
You know, it's interesting. This whole initiative has gotten world-class coverage through social and through traditional media. And really, we want to take our hats off to Dr. Janet Slick, the
Yes.
president and CEO of the Chicago Lighthouse, who came up with the idea and really spearheaded the whole initiative. And she mentioned how touched she's been by all the responses she's gotten and how this initiative has touched the lives of so many people. But as an artist who participated in the event and designed one of the sculptures yourself, how were you personally impacted by it?
Well, for me, being an artist, you know, a lot of us, when I say a lot of us, I mean artists as well as fans of artists, don't really think too much outside of what they see on a canvas or in front of them, and they don't know that most artists have disabilities that they don't make known. And being in classes where you're labeled as, oh, you're someone with special needs, or someone who has a learning disability. It's been one of those things that I've had to deal with throughout my life. So doing class assignments that was more catered to my way of learning,
Right.
And doing artwork instead of a 20 page essay. I think that, you know, that was easier for me to get past those obstacles that I've been challenged with. And being an artist now, I still deal with different anxiety and have my way of being sometimes overwhelmed and having to like focus on one task at a time instead of multitasking. So,
Well, I can appreciate that. You know, Dr. Slick used the term of empowerment, how all the artists who participated sort of gained a sense and a feeling of empowerment, that they got their work out there, they showed the world what they could do if given the chance, and all the wonderful feedback that came forward. You know, it's just a marvelous thing. For those of you who haven't gotten to North Michigan Avenue yet, please do so. The initiative wraps up this Saturday, August 11th, so you still have time to get there, and you're going to be absolutely amazed by these beautiful lighthouse sculptures. And for more information in terms of exact locations of where the lighthouses are, please visit our site, lighthousesonmagmile.com. And for information about the Chicago Lighthouse itself and our world-class services, please visit the Chicago Lighthouse website, chicagolighthouse.org. Thank you, Hamza.
no problem.
And thank you, everyone, for watching, and enjoy the rest of your summer and have a good afternoon.